What I thought was interesting, Ari, is that Vince is going to be the executive chairman of the new company.
Right.
That implies that he is going to have a say.
Well, I would have said the following. I would have body slammed him if he thought he was going to leave. Because as I said to you before, here's a man who has seen around the corners at every beat over the last 40 years of this business and has a vision for where this business, way before a lot of people see it. Him now being able to utilize what we have built in our flywheel, I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Well, congratulations. Now you guys have to do damage control because you wanted Vinnie Mac on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a new era. Vincent Kennedy Mcmahon has handed in his resignation and he is gone from WWE for good. He's not coming back. And ironically, two of the deadliest sins have taken him down. Lust and greed. And believe me, this is not a religious video. No, far from it. But the reason why I mention it like that, though, because several people have read the 67-page report of the allegations that are going against Vincent Kennedy McMahon. They are now nicknaming him Satan himself. I am not kidding you. I'm going to be talking about that and a lot more. This is going to be a lengthy video. A lot of stuff has happened. But before we get to it, I just want to put a little trigger warning for people who are squeamish or sensitive. We're going to be talking about graphic content within the 67-page report in order for people to understand what is going on, why this happened, and what's going on for, in the future. And also, I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Welcome to Red Ace Talks, the show that we talk about everything and anything. And right before we get to the topic, I just want to remind you, if you do like the episode, please subscribe, hit the like button, comment down below. Let me know what you think. And also hit the little bell icon that way you're notified about future Red Ace production videos, such as music videos, chug reviews, and of course, you guessed right, more episodes of Red Ace Talks. Now, without further ado, we're going to be talking about, from what I can actually say, is the downfall of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. What happened? Well, it goes like this. As mentioned before, lust and greed have taken down Vince McMahon. Greed meaning that he had a certain individual named Janelle Grant signed a NDA of the heinous stuff that he has done. Promised her $3 million within the payment, became cheap, stingy, greedy, only gave her $1 million. Of course, a lot of lawyers who have read this situation have said that now the payment has not gone fully through, then the NDA is null and void. Yep, so it opened up Pandora's box, and this thing came at a bad timing for TKO because TKO, the company that owns both WWE and UFC, and owned by Endeavor, I should say, that merged the two companies together to make TKO. They made two announcements, blockbuster announcements. One was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yes, he has the name The Rock back. That was the agreement, besides getting millions and millions of dollars. But he is part of the board of directors. And number two was Monday Night Raw being picked up from none other than Netflix. This is going to be groundbreaking history at the making, because Netflix is not really a streaming service, a live streaming service, I should say. So they were going to do something that's groundbreaking with the WWE. 10-year, $5 billion, deal. 2 days later, a day or two later, whatever, this 67 report came out. Very disgusting, very heinous stuff. But it's gotten so bad that it has upset a lot of people, upset a lot of companies, and has made Slim Jim pull their advertisements and put it on pause. And that is a big deal because tonight's Royal Rumble is sponsored by them. I mean, they got like a giveaway with, car, like a Slim Jim car. They got the LA Knight at Bianca Belair doing the commercials. And they pulled the advertisements. And once that happened, I said, Vince is done. People didn't want to believe me, but they keep on forgetting that Vince does not own TKO. TKO owns Vince. This is not Vince's company anymore. This is Ari Emanuel from Endeavor. Yes, he's best friends with Ari Emanuel, but money talks, bullshit walks. It's always been the saying. and it hurt TKO, Endeavor in their pockets with Slim Jim and another company. Don't know who the other company is, but it was rumored that another company, major company that they were dealing with, was going to pull out indefinitely. But the thing is that Vince, I guess they forced Vince, because Vince has a contract where he cannot get fired, but can only resign. They forced him to resign because they were losing revenue, and Vince has resigned. We're going to talk about the resignation, and then we're going to talk about the 67-page report. We're not going to talk about it in detail because this video will be a lot longer, but also going to talk about the aftermath upon what happened. So let's get to the resignation first. Vincent McMahon has resigned from WWE and UFC owner TKO Group Holdings, where he was an executive chairman of the board following allegations of sexual abuse and trafficking. These are major reports going on. As reported by Variety, McMahon's resignation was the response to a lawsuit filed against him from former WWE employee Janelle Grant. The lawsuit itself alleges that McMahon, former WWE head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis, and WWE itself all violated the Trafficking Victims Prevention Act. Furthermore, it states that McMahon and Laurinaitis used Grant both for their own pleasure and a pawn to secure talent deals with prospective wrestlers they were recruiting. Of course, Vincent McMahon made some statements. First off, the usual statement that he mentioned even in 2022 when the whole thing came to light with the NDAs, which was, I will defend myself against these baseless accusations. He said that in 2022. And, he retired, came back, 2023, the proxy war, the whole shareholders. I want to stay in the company. I want to sell it. But I want to keep, be in charge of creative. All these companies don't want me, but they want my company. Fuck them. Ari Emanuel comes in, buys Vince, buys the company, and Vince failed to show him that he was a good creator because Endeavor wanted to test both him and Paul Levesque, a.k.a. Triple H. And, Vince did Raw. Paul Levesque did SmackDown on the same week. They wanted to see how they would structure the whole storyline or creative. Vince McMahon did the same fucking bullshit of, tearing down scripts and going on the 0 hour, like 2 hours, before Raw. They asked him how the show was going to do. He's like, I don't know. I saw how to write the script. Writing scripts while Raw was going on, having these shitty 2-minute matches, turning people away from the product. And then SmackDown happened. Triple H showed how good and coordinated he was. And it just proved to Endeavor that Vince McMahon cannot be in control of creative. So I just want to put a little history right there. Anyways, this is what Vince said during his whole resignation, though. I stand by my prior statement, which I'm going to highlight. I'm going to highlight for you guys before I read it. Here we go. Sorry. Here we go. I stand by my prior statement that Ms. Grant's lawsuit is replete with lies, obscene make-up instances that never occurred, and is a vindictive distortion of truth. McMahon said in the statement, I intend to vigorously defend myself against the baseless accusations and look forward to clearing my name. However, out of respect of the WWE Universe, the extraordinary TKO business, and its board members and shareholders, partners and constituents, and all of the employees and superstars who helped make WWE into the global leader it is today, I have decided to resign from my executive chairmanship and the TKO board of directors effective immediately. Of course, WWE president and TKO board member Nick Khan had said this statement right after Vince did his, and it says, I want to inform you that Vincent McMahon has tendered his resignation from positions as TKO executive chairman and the TKO board of directors. WWE president and TKO board member Nick Khan also stated in the email to staff he will no longer be have a role with TKO Group or Holdings or the WWE itself. And of course, they're going to end it with what I said in 2022. It was all this came to light in 2022 with the NDAs. Vincent McMahon using the company money, being fully investigated by his own board, and his own board didn't want him in the company anymore. But Vincent McMahon held the proxies and the shareholder, processing powers that he had, and basically hold the company hostage, and basically fired people that went against him and put it in these stooges. That way they could do a second vote, and they all vote. It went from all voting unanimously to vote him off to voting him in. Vince had that much control. But now, as a member of TKO, not the owner, a member, thought he can get away with the same bullshit using the same fucking line, which I mentioned before, which was, what was it? Oh, yeah, I defend myself against these baseless accusations. He said that before. He's full of shit. And like I said, before I read all this, his greed became his downfall. He would have got, listen, I am not condoning, I'm not like championing Vince at all. What Vince did, and what I'm about to explain in the 67 report of some things I heard and read about, but if he would have paid her in full, he would have got away with it. People don't understand it. He would have got away with it. They wouldn't have had no evidence, because this woman has receipts. She has evidence. She has pictures. She has texts. There would have been no evidence. But this idiot decided not to pay her in full. And matter of fact, how many other NDAs did he not pay in full? Because I bet you these women that didn't get fully paid probably thought that when you signed the contract, you can't say shit. But they forget that if they're not fully paid, according to, like I said, I got to do more research about this, but according to a lot of lawyers that they had talk about this situation, if what they're saying is true, those women could actually join Janelle Grant, and there could be a big Pandora's box being opened. Now, within the 67-page report, trigger warning again, because this is disgusting stuff. This is stuff that, like, even people who are protecting Vince, like on Vince's side, innocent before proven guilty, they were shocked, and they don't know what to say. They're quiet. I mean, there are some people that are still protecting Vince, but it is what it is. That's how society is. You got people, having their own opinions about being America, having freedom of, speech and freedom of opinion and all that. So, but getting to the 67-page report, this reminds me a Southern Belle situation coming from the South. Woman trying to go into the big city, become a model or an actress, but having the pimp, a real pimp, waiting for them at the bus stop, pretending that they're part of the talent relations or having connections or so on and so forth. So Janelle Grant, according to her story, her family died, unemployed, about to be homeless, met a manager, an agent that was best friends with Vince. Vince was living in a loft at the time. And listen, Janelle Grant is a very attractive woman. And it got the eyes of Vince. This happened in 2019 to 2022. So I want to put that right there, because Vince is in his 70s. Vince promised her the lavish lifestyle, gave her gifts and whatever, promised her a big promotion in WWE and all that, had her like on the payroll. But of course she had to do favors. And just like the story with the Southern Belle, with the pimps, letting them start off with, the best customer, high paid, escort in a way, then going all the way to a dirty fucking prostitute whore. That's what they would say. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at that, but it's the way I said whore. Sorry. I try to put some humor into this, but you get what I'm saying, though. Having them turn into a dirty prostitute, where they're like, reason why I say dirty prostitute, because now their tricks went from, distinguished gentlemen to, oh, how much can I get for $10? Can I get a quickie? Like those kind of guys. It happened to Janelle Grant, unfortunately. Being forced to sleep with Vince, I think, is like the biggest fucking... But she dealt with it because she was afraid of being homeless. This guy's a billionaire. Promised her the world. After she slept with Vince, Vince started putting in his own kinks, as we read in the 67-page report. Like the dildo situation. Oh, man. I think everybody's highlighting that one. Vince McMahon actually owns different colored dildos, and he named the different colored dildos from his special favorite wrestlers. If a black dildo was there, it was named after a black wrestler. Booker T, now you know why you have that cushy contract. Oh, man. Sorry. I'm trying to put some humor to it. This is a disturbing situation. But it's disgusting. And like I said, he didn't know how to use, her report anyways, he didn't know how to use the whole toys properly. Caused a return of bleeding. Then comes in John Laurinaitis, the dynamic, disgusting duo, taking turns with her. While business hours, people working outside, and Vince is having these threesomes with John Laurinaitis, to a point where it was one reported that he defecated on her. I do not think it was intentional because he's an old man. He probably lost his bladder. Very disgusting. She wanted to wash herself, but they said, no, let's keep going. And she kept saying no, and he said no means yes. And after they done what they did, she wanted to wash herself up, and they said, no, you lay there, we'll come back, and we'll finish for number 2. And, of course, she has Stockholm Syndrome, and she did, she has text messages of Vince saying that, she's his property, sexual toy. She has to fuck him and fuck whoever he wants her to fuck, which leads to the prospective wrestler that they're talking about. They didn't mention him by name, but they mentioned him by his accolade, and that is basically an ex-WWE superstar who became UFC champion. And only one person fits that bill, and that's Brock Lesnar. And this does make sense because Brock Lesnar was talking about leaving WWE in 2020. But Vince and Laurinaitis, mostly Vince, convinced Brock Lesnar to stay by showing him Janelle, according to the filing, Janelle Grant's, nude pictures, which she has as well. And it convinced Brock to stay and have his way with her as well. So this woman was passed on very, 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 like so many times, like a lot. And it's disgusting. Now, the aftermath, like I said, Slim Jim wanted to pull their advertisements. Then they made Vince McMahon resign. What happened in the aftermath, though? Happy to report, anyways, is that Slim Jim resumes partnership with WWE at the Royal Rumble. On Friday, Slim Jim announced that it was pausing existing partnership with WWE. But now they're stating that they're confirming the company is resuming the partnership immediately. And this is what they stated after the departure of Vincent McMahon and discussions of the WWE TKO senior leadership. Slim Jim has decided to re-enter the Royal Rumble tonight. So those commercials that they shot are safe. It is also now being reported, which I actually had to test out for you guys, because I had to re-record this whole video. So feel privileged, so my pain of going over and over again with this whole video. But WWE is now giving Vince McMahon the Chris Benoit treatment, meaning what? Well, I went to WWE's website, typed in Vince McMahon, and they pulled his whole history off. You see Stephanie, Shane, and Vince J. McMahon, which is Vince Sr. Normally, you would see Vince McMahon probably be number 1 or at the end right next to his dad. There is no mention. Like, I see Vince McMahon right here, but I think they're going to get rid of that soon. But, like, when it comes to superstars, they erased his profile. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure, like, because you see Vince McMahon over here and the photos. If they're truly going to give him the Benoit treatment, I think after, like, I would say test this out tomorrow. You might not see any of this. But so far, though, they took off his profile. Like, there's no mention of Vince McMahon unless you're watching, like, a highlight and pictures. But let's see. Let's go to a picture. Okay. Oh, wow. All right, no, I see Vince right there. Let's do the Vince McMahon reflects. I'm not gonna play the video. I don't want to get flagged and all that. But all right, well, you see the videos and the pictures that Vince is in, but his profile is not here anymore. I just wanted to share that with you guys. That is it, though. That is the history of Vince. It seems that the companies are now not going anywhere because TKO had to convince them that Vince is gone. He's not coming back. and it's business as usual, and they are sorry for the mishap, and Vince got canceled. Now Vince has to worry about two things. Number one, like I mentioned, how far did the other NDAs go? Did he fully pay them? Because, like I said, according to what I heard, I'm not solid on this one. This is not something I could be solid about, but the lawyers that I've heard from, if NDA is not fully paid, then the NDA is null and void. And if Vince did not fully pay these other women that 2022 has revealed, because I think there was like 5 or 6 of them, if I remember correctly, they could speak. Like I said, I don't know if I'm 100% right about that. But if it is 100% accurate, those women can speak. And jail time. Sex trafficking does not look good in the American eye. American ear, American eye does not look good. Like I said, this whole thing was disgusting. People were disgusted, making fun of Vince or whatnot. But usually I would hear, innocent until proven guilty. Don't judge Vince like that. But now I'm only seeing a few people say that. And you got sponsorships, like I said, that were willing to drop WWE like that. Like that. Gotta do a double take. This is the first step to go through. But, yeah, that is it. Everything is going to fruition. Now, I heard that Ronda Rousey tweeted that it's not over because Bruce Pritchard's still there. And there's rumor that people who are very close to Vince that knew about this, they're going to get fired. It's a rumor. I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it is, I think he's going to be gone at the Royal Rumble. At the Royal Rumble, if it is true, Bruce Pritchard is going to be fired after the Royal Rumble, before Raw. They're gonna treat Raw like it's a clean slate. So, if I was Bruce, I would hope that rumor is not true. But Bruce is the last of Vince's whole squad. Kevin Dunn left already. Most of the people got vetted out. They all fucking took their money and ran. Laurinaitis got fired, after the first incident. Endeavor didn't want Laurinaitis coming back. So who's left? Bruce. Anyways, I know this was a lengthy video. I try to make it as short as possible, but wanted to get more for the detail. If you guys stuck around for this long, you guys are awesome. But I always say this. I always have questions in every video that I do. How do you guys feel about this? Do you guys really think that they're going to do the Chris Benoit treatment? I mean, we did check the WWE.com. They really didn't do the Chris Benoit treatment. Chris Benoit treatment was every video, every photo. Not only his profile, but every video, every photo were taken down. So, do you guys think that they're in the process of doing that while I was searching? Or do you guys think that they're taking this video down? And if they are giving him the Chris Benoit treatment, that means he's not going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. He's not going to be mentioned at all. It's going to be kind of hard to do that when you had the guy that created WWE that made it into the juggernaut the way it is. It's like, give credit where credit's due, but Vince is still a fucking cheapskate monster. Scumbag. Yeah. So how do you guys feel about that? Do you guys agree with what I said? Cheapskate scumbag. Or, do you guys believe in other things? Let me know down in the comments down below, though. But anyways, I got to get going. Royal Rumble is going to be almost on. This is my 70th take because I keep finding out more information. And I told myself I didn't want the video to be that long, but unfortunately it is. And you guys are great for actually sticking around. So, if you have. Anyways, without further ado, I'm out. For the past, the present, for the future, thank you guys so much again. You guys are awesome. Keep brutal, guys. Stay safe. Stay tuned. And until next time, I'll see you later. And if anything else comes up with this story, we're going to have to make a part 2. I was hoping not to do that. But anyways, see you later, guys.